Hey guys, continuing Iamblichus' Exhortation to Philosophy text, chapter 16. So in this chapter, Iamblichus is talking about the real nature of education. He says, we can look at the way sight works, and from that we can deduce how the soul works. He says, if we consider a blind eye, if the blind eye had a power to see, the power to sight, we can restore that power. And because the eye inherently had the ability to be able to see, only then we can restore that ability. He says the same must apply to the soul. If we can restore the soul to its state of contemplation of the real world and essentially existence in the real world, contemplation of the real world and its brightest parts, Iamblichus says, if it's possible to restore the soul to that, it means the soul already has this as an inherent ability, an inherent power, and we're simply restoring that power. This is a very important part to understand. He says it's not about implanting something new into the person. It is more about restoring the ability that the person already has. And then he gives different examples of how this works. And another point that is important, I think, to say is he gives body as a reference point. So he says, in order for us to see something, let's say, that's on the left, we need to turn the body to look in that direction. The body is an instrument which we must use. He says the same applies to the soul. In order for us to restore this, to restore our true nature, we have to use the body. And as I understand it, he means we use the body as an instrument which we purify, and then that enables us to restore the soul to its true nature. Yeah. So that's this part. These couple of paragraphs in summation. This is the beginning, essentially the beginning of the chapter, the first few paragraphs. Let's do a quick content meditation now and see if anything else arises that needs to be mentioned about this. You can do any meditation you want. Okay. Sorry about the noises. My family is in the house at the moment. So there is possibly some conversations you heard. Yeah, the key point to take from this is that we already have this ability, as I understand. And it's simply restoring that ability. And by entrance into the generative world, the soul has become impure, and we remember from previous chapters, the mind became dull, and the soul became impure. So our job is to purify it. And we do this by studying philosophy, by developing self-control over our desires, and by trying to develop virtue in everything that we do, to try and make everything that we do as good as possible. And the body is our instrument on this process. We have to work with it. That's it. Thank you for your time, guys. Hopefully a video will appear now. You can click on it and keep watching the channel.